I actually didn't know what albinism was until my son was born. I felt like they gave me the wrong baby. To me, he was Caucasian. One day, I was just looking at him and he was just looking at me and he just smiled. It just melted my heart. When I gave birth, again, I seen a head full of blonde hair. Instantly, I'm like, KD is not alone. It was a combination of reactions. They're whitewashed. That's not your daughter. Hold on one second. You gonna do the ACT?
Yeah. But I'm scared I might crack it. I'm bad at making gags.
There, oh my God.
Yeah, I did it.
Yo, you did it. My name is Ashley, and I'm 34 years old. My oldest is Stanley, but we all know him as Boom, and he is 16. My second son, Katie, he is 13. Take a seat. And then we have Munchie, and she is 11. And then we have TT, who is 10. And then we have Chase, which he goes by CO. He is 9. Since I have a lot of kids, I try to make them a big breakfast because I know they won't get full real quickly.
Do you ever help in the kitchen?
Sometimes if I want to cook in the kitchen, I would ask my mom, but either my granddad or my big brother has to watch me. My eyesight's bad, so really they don't really trust me in the kitchen that much. So I have to somebody supervise me.
I actually didn't even know what albinism was until my son was born. I didn't realize that something was wrong until I was breastfeeding him and he had on his little hat, and I thought he had like a lint stuck to his hair, and when I went to go pull it, it was actually attached. And so when I took the hat off, I damn nearly just froze. I was like, oh my gosh, he has a lot of blonde hair. I started freaking out. Like, I went in a total eruption of emotions because he should have came out my color and he did not come out my color. And I felt like somehow maybe the nurses probably swapped the babies. Like, something was definitely wrong because I totally believed that that was not my child.
I'm gonna change my fork right quick.
It literally took like 2 days before a doctor actually came in my room and told me that my son had oculocutaneous albinism. And I said, well, what is that? And they just said, where a child lacks pigment and they have no color. I mean, to me, he looked nothing like me. And to me, he was Caucasian. That's what I stood on, that's what I felt. So it was very hard trying to have a bond, and I was already being judged before he had even come home. Did you sleep with a white man? You had to have, because you and dad are the same complexion, so how did you create this type of child? I felt like they gave me the wrong baby. Like, there was nothing nobody could honestly tell me for me to believe that it was my baby. Even though I birthed a child, but at the end of the day, I just couldn't accept that. One day that KD was crying, I was just looking at him and he was just looking at me, and I was just talking to him and he just smiled. And it was like, I just finally embraced it. Like, it was the way he smiled, it just melted my heart so much. And I fell in love with him. I wouldn't let him go. I wouldn't put him down. Here is a picture of Katie. This is when he was in his bassinet. You can see how precious he was. When we talked to the doctors, I had specifically asked, could this happen again? And they were telling me it was very rare. So when I gave birth, again, Dad said, she's albino. I said, you're lying. Soon as they washed her up, I seen a head full of blonde hair. But my reaction was very different. Here's a throwback little picture of TT looking cute. Because it was like instantly, I'm like, KD is not alone. Here goes TT's newborn picture. They do look like they could be twins, a boy and a girl. There you have it, there's TT.
How's everyone doing? Whole family here.
Got the whole squad.
Can you tell us about your decision to start making TikTok videos and sharing your family story on?
Well, I've always told the kids, I said, you know, if we do something very creative, I feel like we will go viral. And it took us 2 years. November 4th, I did a hair tutorial on TT. But within 2 days, we had 6 million views. It was a combination of reactions. A lot of positive and a lot of negative. People being downright racist. They're whitewashed. That's not your daughter. You're just using your adopted daughter for clout.
People are not being educated enough and looking at our content because there's a lot of people saying they're not black, they were adopted, that's not their mom.
It was very painful, the fact that people don't think that they're mine. But what's crazy is my daughter looks just like me. So I don't know why people feel like she's not my child, but the only reason that I could think of is because her skin color. On Facebook, I had got a message request. Somebody had TT's photo with the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, okay.
With a rope.
With a rope.
Now, I don't know if the rope was around her neck. I really can't remember, but the rope was there.
Mm-hmm. There's some hateful people out there. Some small-minded people just react hatefully.
Yeah.
And it's not really much you can do that when you open yourself up on the informational highway. There's no way you can avoid it.
I don't feed into it because when you respond to the negativity, then they're gonna come back with more negativity because they have nothing else better to do. So I'm not gonna even give them that power. I did, girl, give me a hug. You did it. See, I'm fearless. I'm fearless. Let's go.
So are you ever worried about, worried or concerned for Katie and TT being affected by these judgments of hate?
Honestly, no, because they're built just like me. They let it roll off their shoulders and they really don't care what people think. Affirmations are very important to me and I give it to my kids every day. You're handsome, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're intelligent.
Munchie, I made it.
Let's start educating people and bringing more awareness instead of the stares, the comments. As you look at TT and KD, they're themselves. They're no different than any other child. I'm not worried about their future. I see their futures being definitely bright. They're beautiful kids, and they could do anything that they put their mind to. I let my kids be kids, and I support them every step of the way.